everyone. Welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque Painting Live Workshop on Thursday, March 26th, where we paint our subscription box pieces that shipped after the 5th of the month. And today is our second Thursday of working on our Hop Into Spring box, where we have our little chicks made from Easter eggs. And then we have our bunny stack, and we did our chicks last week. So we'll set those aside. And this is our bunny stack. It says Happy Easter. And we're painting with our acrylic stains. And we started painting him last time, and then we also do we're going to do our shading and our shadowing in our crevices and our shading blushing on our bunny with our chalks that was included in the box. So this is where we were at for last week. We painted we base coated our bunny with our charcoal, and we dry brushed him with ash and then gray and then a little bit of white, and we left the chalk, we'll do that last so that it doesn't rub off. And we base coated our blue egg to start with our medium blue. But I'm gonna throw in a little extra for tonight because I know we'll have extra time with our bunnies. So we're gonna do a little quick tutorial on doing these Easter eggs, which gives them a crackle effect. And you can buy the crackle medium, or you can do it the way we're doing it tonight. Yes, Cordy asked if they have crackle medium for acrylic. Yes, you can buy the little, they come like about the size of the brush cleaner or the Ceylon brush, the Ceylon. Oh, a couple of them probably carry it. But you can do it the way we're going to do it tonight. So last night I base coated these two eggs. Well, actually all four of them. I should switch them around here. They'll coordinate better that way. This egg I base coated with the deep turquoise, which is this color here, and that's what we're gonna work on these two tonight, and it'll only take like 15 minutes. And then I left it dry overnight. I left these guys dry overnight. This was the dark turquoise, and this other one is the Limeburst, and they were base coated. And then this morning I painted my glue on, and then let's see, how did I do? I painted the glue on, and then I painted I gotta think of the colors I got here. The light turquoise on this one, and then it crackled today while I was working. And this one, I did the Limeburst with the, let's see, which color yellow, the lemon yellow. And then it crackled while I was working and dried. So I usually let these dry for 24 hours, and then I'll spray it with a sealer. I like the satin sealer, so it has a little bit of a shine. It's not completely matte, but it's just a nice, different little technique for the eggs. And it's real quick and easy, and the kids would probably enjoy doing it too. So tonight we're going to do these two eggs so you guys can see how to do it yourselves. So I'm going to pull that up there, and it is just a little bit messy. So what you want to do, and these are actually the chick eggs, so they're the same eggs that we use for the chicks, but you could use any Bisque eggs, and you want to base coat them whatever color you want. And I kind of prefer the a little bit darker shade underneath, and then the lighter shade on top. So this one I did with Limeburst, and this one I did with the dark turquoise. And I did that last night, and then I left it till this morning. So you want to let it dry like 12 to 24 hours and then do the glue. So we'll set those down. And then for the glue, I have the Elmer's Glue All Glue. You want to make sure you have the Glue All Glue. And it does come in smaller containers. But for what I'm doing, I just went ahead and got the Elmer's Glue All Glue. You don't want the teacher's glue or the school glue. You want the Glue All Glue, and I'll have Courtney type that into the feed for you guys. And then I'm just going to take my foil, and I actually take the top off because it comes out better that way. And I'm just going to make a little pile of my glue. And then I'm going to take a flat brush, and you can use a round brush too. I kind of like the flat brushes for this. This is probably a size 8. And I'm just going to go into my glue, So I just went into the glue, and now I'm going to brush back and forth. You don't want to go all kinds of directions, just go one direction, back and forth. And you just want a nice layer, just as though you were painting it. You don't want it to be flooding, because then it will actually drip down to the bottom and it'll all collect down there. So I'm just brushing back and forth with my glue. And you just want a nice layer. And because it's the eggs, they are kind of hard to hold and not get glue all over your fingers, but we'll get it. So we'll come to this part, and I'm actually going to stick mine on my little dowel, and I'm going to stick my finger up in there, and then I can hold it really nice. Up a little bit. So I'm just holding it with my other finger so it doesn't spin around. So I'm just getting a nice layer of it on, not real thick, but just as thick as paint would be, as if you were glazing, probably I would describe it as. So I'm just brushing back and forth in my one direction, top to bottom. I'm going to see if I can spin him here. So this is really, really simple, and kids would be able to do this. And you can see it's starting to like separate here. That's okay, just let it do that. Grab a little more glue. So just have a nice layer of it on there. And not too much that it runs and puddles. But it does start separating like that. You can kind of see the little bubbles that it's making, but that's okay. Just leave it do that. So now I'm just going to set that one down and go to the other one. Courtney says we have a question. I haven't used metallics, so we have a question if you can use metallics. I haven't used them, but I'm pretty sure you could. What happens is the glue shrinks as it's drying, and that's what makes the paint crackle. So I would think the acrylic metallics would work just as well. So I'm just brushing back and forth, kind of keep it going in one direction. And I'm going to stick my little stick up in there. So if you have a dowel or a brush, you can stick that up in there and then kind of stick your finger up in there too. Huh? And that way it won't be spinning around on you so much. So if you have a dowel or a wide paintbrush. So I'm just brushing my glue on back and forth, kind of brushing it out. And it's actually pretty forgiving, so that's why it's be a good project for the kids too. Well, that's because I have to turn it so I can see it to paint it. So now while we're doing this, the other one is drying. You want to let it dry for like 3 to 5 minutes. And it's not going to get very dry. It's just going to get a little coat of dryness on it. So that's about all you need for the glue. So we're going to set this one aside. I'll set him in my little handy stand, and I'm going to wash out my brush. And so I just washed out my brush, and now I'm going to set my glue aside. I'm going to go to my light turquoise. Oh, no, I'm going to go with we're going to go back to the green one first. So I have the OS567 lemon yellow. And I'm just going to use a pile of that. So now I left this dry just that little bit while we were painting the other one. So now it's kind of separated into little bubbles and things. That's okay, don't worry about that. But it's not quite as shiny as it was when I put it on. So now I'm just going to take my brush and go into the yellow. And you're just going to brush. You can brush back and forth. You just don't want to go north and south and east and west. You want to go one way, one direction. And you don't want it real thick so it runs either. You just go top to bottom. And you're the glue will kind of blend in with that paint a little bit. I'm going to try to spin him on my finger here so I can get to the other side. So again, we're just going to brush back and forth, spread out our paint, not real thick puddles so that it runs. And those little bubbles that are in the glue, those will break down and it'll crackle really nice. So I need a little more yellow. And as we're painting our other piece tonight, we'll check back on these. And by the end of the show, they'll be crackled pretty good. I like to let them sit overnight to completely crackle. So now I just have my whole egg covered in my yellow. So you can just see it's just nice. It's just one layer. You can see some of the green through it. That's okay. Maybe some of the glue through it. That's okay too. So he's ready. We'll just set him aside now. I'm going to wash out my brush again. So I'm just washing out my brush using my Harold's brush cleaner in there. And as you can see, it really takes the paint out of the brush. And the Harold's brush cleaner is this blue rubber pad that you just put in the bottom of your water bowl. And you can see it really cleans out your brush really well. So now we're going to go to our dark turquoise. And now I have the light turquoise, which is OS567. And we'll just shake that up a little bit and get us a little pile. Grab our egg, and you can see this one is starting to separate as well, but the glue isn't as shiny as it was. So I'm going to stick my finger up in that hole again. That way I can keep it from spinning so much, hopefully. I'm going to grab some of my turquoise there. So the eggs are a little bit harder to do because they want to spin. So I'm just going to brush my turquoise on again in one direction, but I can go back and forth. I just don't want to go north, south, east, and west. And you don't want your paint real thick either so that it runs as it's crackling and you ends up all puddling at the bottom of the egg.
Is it fine if you have weird rivers that you normally brush out?
You don't want real big rivers. You want it brushed out fairly even. So let's see, we'll turn him around here. So like that's too much of a ridge, so I'm going to brush that out. So in the glue did go there. I mean, that's okay that if the glue moves with the paint, it's just all going to kind of blend together and crackle. So let's see, that looks about right. You just have a nice thin layer of paint and a nice thin layer of the glue. So there, that's all just spread on there nice. So that's all there is to that. So now we're going to sit those guys aside. And we'll, now I dabbed that with my finger, so I'm just going to go underneath there with the brush and touch it back up. So now I just have it sitting on my little stand here on some dowels. You can sit it on the table, but then your bottom's not going to dry. If you have them like up in a brush, if you could kind of prop them into a cup or a can so that they don't tip over, that would work really well. This little stand I had Jason make me is like the perfect thing. So we're going to set these aside and let them crackle. As they're crackling through the night, we'll come back and show you guys. But this is what it's going to end up looking like. Nice, just a nice crackle. Nice little different effect for the eggs. So we're going to set them aside. And Courtney says we have a question, and we'll come back to them. So what do we got? Are you using an old brush to save your better brushes with the glue? Yes, it's not one of my better brushes. It's just an average brush. And I do like the a flat brush for doing this. And I don't think we have any flat brushes on our website. But you can use like a round nylon brush or one of your beat up brushes. We'll have to get some flat ones. But if you go like even to Walmart or the hardware store and they have some little flat brushes for the glue washes out really well though. I usually have some older brushes I use for projects like this. So it is just a flat, I kind of like this 1/2-inch flat brush. We'll have to get some. So then I'm just going to shut my glue back up. So that's all there is to doing those crackle eggs. And they crackle. They won't be done crackling tonight, but they'll crackle overnight, and then we can post a picture again in the morning. But they'll crackle enough that we can show you guys how they crackle. So that's really cool. Just something different that you don't see too often is the crackled eggs. So something different. Then I guess, well, we got something different. Courtney brought me our new product that we have, and it's our Vibrant. It's called Vibrant Glitter. It's a brush-on glitter. We have how many colors? 31. We have 31 different colors. This is probably the most popular. It's called Rainbow. So you just brush that on your finished piece where you want glitter. It's not overly glittery, like just covered with glitter. You can put several coats on it though, so you have more and not too thin. But I like it because it's not too much. It's really nice on snow and fairies and snowflakes, snowmen, stuff like that. So Courtney brought some of the bright colors. Here's the red. Let me see, is that what it is? This one is called, well, it's 114. It doesn't have a name on it, huh? Just Vibrant Glitter. Oh, so this is the red, Christmas red, and we have Christmas green. So that's really pretty on holly and berries, any of your Christmas stuff. Then we have two blues. This is the royal blue. It's real dark, and this one's kind of a teal blue. But we do have, this is our new product this week, and we do have 31 colors. So just to show you guys, and I can actually open this one because we had it open. It's just like a brush-on sealer with glitter in it. Real fine, like fairy dust type glitter. You can kind of see it sparkling on the page. Courtney lost the page on me there. I can't see it. So that's our brush-on glitter. So that was our new product for this week, one of them. Then we had some bisque that can be added to the boxes. And even this glitter, if you're a subscriber, we can add those if you want. Courtney can add it to your invoice, and they'll ship for free in your box. We cover the shipping on whatever will fit in the subscription box. So with that being done, we're going to switch over to our little bunny now. And I got to grab my cart so I can get my colors. So we will start with, we're just going to paint out some more of our colors. So we already did the blue over here. We'll go to the dark turquoise over here. And let me see, he's on the front and on the back, so we'll do that. So yep, just let Courtney know, because at any time if you see bisque on our webpage or brushes or paint, she can add it to your invoices and then it can ship. As long as it fits in your box, it'll ship. We cover the cost. So that's one kind of advantage with the bisque boxes. Okay, so I have my dark turquoise. I guess just tell you guys what color, so Courtney can put that on there. I have the OS567 deep turquoise. And Connie, I will have yours with me on the way home tonight. I already have it in the box, so we don't forget it. And those two brushes. So we have Duncan OS567 deep turquoise. And let's see, we're going to go with a smaller brush, I think. I must have cobbed too many brushes out of here. There's only 2 painting brushes in here. Okay, so we have our Royal and Langnickel size 3 nylon round brush, so we'll use that tonight. And we're just going to paint this out. And so I'm just out basically coloring in the egg just like you would be with a coloring book, just to make it simple explanation. And then I'm just brushing out my acrylic stain. So I don't want puddles and hills, and I have my piece resting on the table, and I have a nice control of it so I can turn it, and I'm resting my painting hand on my piece. That way I can paint a nice straight line here where the two eggs meet up. And we'll come right to that one. So I'm just starting from the bottom and working my way up. There's no other reason for doing the egg that I'm doing other than starting from the bottom and working up. Cordy says we got some questions, so maybe she can read them out loud for me and I'll repeat them. I don't know if Mod Podge will work. There's different recipes out. So we had a question if Mod Podge would work instead of the glue. I don't know what else will work. There are other recipes out there on the internet. The one that I found that seemed to be the most popular was using the glue-all glue, and those people did comment that it has to be the glue-all glue. It can't be the other types of the Elmer's glue. It has to be the glue-all glue. So I don't know. You could try it and see. That's all I could really advise you on, that is to try it and see. The thing with the glue is as it dries, it supposedly shrinks, and that's what pulls the paint and makes it crackle. So that's the basis behind that. I didn't try other types of glue. I bought the Elmer's glue-all glue, and that's what that tutorial, different ones that I read used, and that's what I purchased. So now that would be a good technique on mushrooms too. Let's see what else. You could use it on a lot of different things. Even on birdhouses on the outside. I'm sure you can think of a ton of different things to use it on. I just thought the Easter eggs were really neat as something different than what we've seen in the past. So I always try to think of different things. So I'm just painting out our dark turquoise here, deep turquoise rather. If you tried the Mod Podge, give us a post a picture and let us know, oh hey, this worked, oh hey, no, this don't work, go with the glue-all. And then you always want to get the bottom of your piece, you want that to look as good as the rest, so when someone were to pick it up and look at it, you want that to look nice too, and not, oh, look at that. So we'll get our bottom. So if you guys do pictures, if you guys decide to do the crackle, go ahead and post pictures. Show us what you're doing in the Bisque Box group or on the regular note feed. That's okay too. It's really nice to see all the pictures of the bunnies coming through. You guys are working on them and way ahead of schedule, so that's good. Lots of cute ideas. Cordy says there's so many comments popping up that we will go back through them and we'll make sure we comment on them so we don't miss anybody's questions, or they want glitter and things. Yeah. She'll make sure you get on the order list. So she'll go through that and then put it on her Excel sheet that she does for everybody that has things added to their boxes. So I'm just going with another second coat here because I can still see through my deep turquoise, and I'm just brushing it out. So I hope everyone is staying healthy this week. So we have one of the eggs on the back is also the turquoise, so we have that on the palette here. We're going to go ahead and paint that out too without messing up our front one. It looks like I need to dust this bisque off here. Usually we do that before we ship it. Yeah. So our state is closed down, but I did travel to Courtney's because I guess because we're family, so we could do the painting live, and we're basically quarantined anyway, so we should be okay. I work in healthcare, but in the billing department, and they actually were able to send us home with our computers yesterday. So I'm working from home for work, so I'm not around anybody at all. So that's good. The cat, my coworker, the cat, yep. He's a little not sure what's going on here yet. So I'm kind of resting on my arm. I wouldn't normally do that, but I'm trying to do it so you guys can see it. But you just want to have your piece always resting and nice and secure so it's not bouncing around when you're trying to draw those nice straight lines for your eggs. And if you mess it up, don't worry about it. Just go back and touch up the blue egg, and you'll see that we'll be touching things up as we go here. Sometimes you think you painted on the right line, and after it's done and you get the other color in, you'll see, oh, that's overlapping onto that other egg, like right there. Now I just overlapped my green onto that next egg. So painted, we'll be able to just cover that up. So we'll come over here and do this one. So I'm going to bring the eggs over quick so you can see how they're crackling. So it's kind of fun to see it in action. You can see they're starting to crackle. Let's see if we can get that one. Yep, well, that one we did first. Cordy says the yellow one's further, and it is because we did that one first. But you can see the green one is starting too. You can see the yellows further, but you can see it crackles as we're sitting here working on our project. So we'll grab our egg back. So that's pretty cool. I thought you guys might enjoy something like that, a little different, spice things up as long as everybody's in lockdown and the old coronavirus. That'll give you something to, just another idea for your Easter eggs to do. We do have Easter eggs on our webpage, Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. We could add those in your boxes too if you wanted. Just let Courtney know and she'll add it to your invoice, and then when it comes on the 1st, check it over and make sure you have what you ordered, and they too would ship for free in the box. Whatever fits in that box that your Bisque box comes in, we cover the shipping on it. So that's kind of a good deal, an extra benefit. And then Courtney, I also had typed up the instructions for those crackle eggs.
I'll make a text sheet like the finch.
And Courtney's going to make up a technique sheet like she did with the finch and the blue jay, and it'll be on that resource tab where you can access that for free. So I did all the egg techniques that we'll be doing, so that those will be available. So next week we'll do another egg. The robin egg. Courtney thinks we should do the robin egg, you guys. So this one is kind of hard to see on camera, but it's got it has spattering on it. So we'll do that one next week. So it's there you go. Now you can see it better. There's just little speckles on there. So we'll do this one next week, and that won't take very long either. So just something extra to add to our videos, and I knew that we'd probably end up with an extra night, so I thought, well, if we throw these in and if we could get them in before Easter, you guys could actually use them and do it, because if we wait till the end of the month, Easter will be past. So that's why I went ahead and did it tonight, kind of if you want to do it, you'll be able to do it in time for Easter instead of after the fact. But I think the glue, the kids can certainly do. It's pretty forgiving. You know, if you have a fingerprint or something, that the glue, because when it shrinks, it kind of like just works its way out. So Courtney says she could do it. Yeah, she probably could.
You sound so confident.
So we got our turquoise, deep turquoise painted, and I'm going to make sure my front one is nice and solid, because sometimes that takes an extra coat. So now I just got my turquoise onto my blue egg. So you can see that that's over just a little too far, so we'll touch that up when we go back and touch things up. But first we're going to get all our colors painted out here. And it looks like over here I'm not over quite far enough. And feel free to always, you know, if you want to paint your pieces differently, feel free to paint them different. You don't have to paint them the same way I'm doing them. So I'm just washing out my brush, and let's see, we'll go to our pink egg is next. It'll be this one over here. We'll do our pink one next.
What new color this month? Ivory?
Our new color for next month is ivory. I believe that's the only one, right?
Yeah, and then I don't think the one after.
And then the next one, I'm not sure.
It's either none or one.
It'll either be none or one for May. Because this box, we had so many new colors, we were able to use that, reuse those all on the next 3 months here, the next 2 for sure. So did we use Azalea or did we use Miami Pink? Let's see. Azalea looks like. So we're going to use our Azalea now for this egg. So I have our OS559 Azalea. So OS559 Azalea. Of course, you can put that in the feed for you guys.
You base coated one egg Azalea and you base coated one egg Miami.
Okay, well, we'll start with this one with the Azalea. So we'll do the bottom one with Azalea, OS559 Azalea. But again, you guys can color your eggs any colors you want. We had some pictures posted and there were different colors and they had different designs and dots, and that's great. So we're just gonna brush out our whole egg here in our Azalea. I'm gonna get him leaning on the table so it's nice and sturdy. So Courtney posted the fairy box this week. So I think do you have the pre-order up for it too?
I think there's 6 or 7 boxes left.
So we have the pre-order up for that. We have 6 or 7 boxes left, she thinks, that we can have available to ship on the 5th. So if you were a one-time subscriber and you want that, you'll have to go and do that one-time purchase. Or sign up for the subscription so you get all the future boxes. But otherwise, if you're a subscriber, you'll automatically get invoiced on the 1st. If you question, you don't know if you're a subscriber or a one-time boxer, just send us a message and Courtney can give you the right information and get you in the right spot so you get what you want. So we had quite a few one-time purchases last month, so make sure if you want the next box so that you either subscribe or you do the one-time purchase again. Probably sooner than later. We're getting a little limited on how many we can make because that we can have as extras, because we kind of grew a lot last month, and with me still working full-time until the middle of May, I only can get so many poured and cleaned and fired. So like when we had, excuse me, I gotta grab a water. So when we started out, we only had 8 boxes subscribed the very first month, so we had plenty of extras. But now last month we had way more than that, and so that took up all of our, used up all of the planned boxes, and we didn't really have any extras. So then we had to try to do that second release, and I don't because of the number that we increased so much, I don't even know that we'll be able to do a second release this time, because we'll have used up all of our flyers and extras that are going in the box that we've ordered way ahead of time last year already.
And the extras are secret.
So Courtney says the extras this month are a secret. Super secret, she says, a surprise. So it's the fairy box with the girl fairy, the Daisy, the girl fairy, Larkspur, the Boy Fairy, and then the Dragonfly Villa. Those are your Bisque pieces in your box. And then you will get your inventory sheet and your flyer sheet and your typed out instruction sheet. Let's see, what else can I tell you that you're getting that you don't? So we have a couple extras that are surprise part of the package, so we're going to let you guys be surprised.
Maybe start your dry brushes though. It's the last month before.
So it's the last. Next month is the last month before we start the dry brush as the extra piece. Like when we started out, we had the Royal and Langnickel dry brushes, which are our beginner, budget-friendly, good quality brushes. But we are doing the Artist Paintbrush dry brushes this time. They're a better quality. We just like them a lot better. They're kind of like the Donna dry brushes. They're nice and soft and they spring back really well. So I really liked them. So those will be the extra in the box from May through December. So from May through December, if you're a subscriber, you will actually end up with a set of 4 flat dry brushes and 4 round dry brushes in different sizes. So Courtney says we have a question and she's going to look for it. Someone had a question about the dry brushes. So she's looking for the question we had. So if you're a subscriber from May through December, you'll end up with a full set of the Artist Paintbrush dry brushes with the purple handles.
So the question was, she wanted to invest in good dry brushes, and I said you'd explain why you like the purple brushes.
Oh, so someone asked for a good set of dry brushes. What is a good set of dry brushes? So I like the Artist Paintbrush dry brushes. They're the purple handle brushes. I don't even have one here now. We took them all out. You took them out of last week and told me I couldn't have them in here.
I gave you a set to take home.
Right, but now there's none here. Well, anyway, they're a purple handle dry brush. They're made by our distributor. The parts of the brushes come from Germany. I do know that because I talked to Tom. They're just really nice brushes because they're nice and soft. They're soft. They're not real stiff dry brushes. And when you clean them, they go back to their shape. They're not all like splattered out, all wide and crazy. They just go back to their nice shape. But they're nice dry brushes. They're just good quality. A little bit more expensive than the Royal and Langnickel ones, but not much. Maybe double, a little less than double. But they're just really nice brushes. They keep their form. They keep their form really well, and they're just nice and soft. So Courtney went and grabbed a set, and we will. I think we already have them on our webpage, right? Yeah. So these are also available on our webpage because if you're like me, you like more than one brush. So I'm going to paint out this pink here, and then we'll take a look at those dry brushes. They also have the round painting brushes that we just got those in. Are those on the page too? Yeah. So we have their round nylon painting brushes, which is what you would use for like what I'm painting out now, and it's like the step up from these two. They're a little better quality. So let that sit for a minute. I'm going to wash out my brush. So these are the actual Artist Paintbrush dry brushes. So let's see, let's get the flat ones and the round ones together. So they come in 4 sizes. They're purple handled brushes. They have APB, which stands for Artist Paintbrush. And they come in these 4 sizes. We have 8, 5, 3, and 1. Now they have a sizing in them when you get them, which just holds them together nice. You just wash that out, and then let them dry, and then they're ready to dry brush. But once you use them and wash them out, they go back to their nice shape. So that's the 4 round ones, and you'll get one dry brush in each box from May through December. And I think we were going to start with the round ones, but I might switch it and start with the flat ones. So then we have the round ones, and we have the size 8, the size 5, the size 3, and the size 1. So you can see that they have really nice points on them. They're just super nice brushes. Oh, we're gonna move them down so you can see them. So each month you'll get a brush. So one month you'll get this round. We'll probably start, I'm not sure. I thought it was the flat, and then Sherry said it was the round. So it'll probably be these round ones. She'll get the size 8 1 month, the size 5 1 month, the size 3 1 month, the size 1 month, and then we'll start up with the flat ones, and then you'll get the size 8 flat, and then you'll get the size 5 flat, and then the size 3 flat, and then the size 1. And by the end of the year, as a subscriber, you will have all of these brushes, which were included in your subscriber Bisque box. So our Bisque box isn't just the Bisque that comes to you. There's extra items in our boxes as well as all the great packaging, and then the Bisque is cleaned very well. We make a point to make sure there's no nicks and pinholes and all of that with our Bisque. So we have a question if I prefer round or flat. I actually use both of them. It depends upon what I'm doing. For these little fairies, I did use a lot of the flat dry brushes because of the little areas. So I do like the flat ones for more detailed. See if I can move that so you can see. So with the flat ones, you can go the flat way, but you can also turn them on end, and then you have a really thin brush area, so you can really get up into the little detailed areas with the flat brushes. So on these fairies, I did use more of the flat dry brushes just because I can turn them on end and do more like those little bitty areas. You can get in there with it on its end. Whereas if you take a round one, take one of the caps off. If you take the round one, it's going to dry brush more than what you want dry brush. But if you take this flat one and turn it on end, you can get more precision, more detail. So it really depends what you're doing. I would say the flat ones are for more detail, the small flat ones for more detailed areas. The big round ones are great for bigger areas that are being dry brushed. So they all have their need, and it kind of depends what if you're just doing wildlife and big pieces, you're probably just going to want the bigger round ones. If you're doing more of these little pieces, you're going to want more of the little round ones and the little flat ones. So actually this is a really nice set to have, because you'll have the large and the small, and you'll have the flat and the round. But we also have this whole set available on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque if you wanted to purchase them that way also, and just have them ahead of time and just add to your collection. Then we also have the Artist Paintbrush, the nylon round brushes. I'm going to go back for a minute. So the dry brushes are a different hairs than what these are. Dry brushes are a boar bristle brush, so it's a little bit stiffer, but there's different stiffnesses, and these are more of a softer stiffness compared to these the Royal and Langnickel. These are a very stiff, coarse bristle. These are more, and this is the boar bristle too, but there's different degrees or types of boar bristle. So this is more of a coarse boar bristle, and this is more of a finer, delicate, not that they're delicate, it's just a finer, better quality boar bristle. And then when you come to your painting out brushes, like what we're doing tonight, this is a nylon. these are nylons. The hairs are made of nylons, where the dry brush ones are made of the boar hair. So these are APB. We have size 8, 6, 4, and 2. So this is a nice variety of sizes from small to large as well. They have nice points on them. That's why I like them. Courtney says she has them on our page, Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com, as the set or as an individual, but this would be a nice set. And then this set of dry brushes is a nice set. And then she was going to make the liner set that we talked about last week, but I don't know that she's had time to do that because it's been really busy again. But we'll get them on there. So these are just nice nylon round painting brushes. You can also get like the Silver Falcon has the sable, which is a natural hair painting brushes, which was very popular in the 80s, probably the early 90s. But over the years, industry has changed to the nylon. I still prefer the old sable. I prefer the natural sable. But the nylon ones are okay too. They work fine. So the sable stuff is, the natural hairs like that are usually more expensive than the nylon ones. So that's probably why the industry's gone to the nylon ones. But the nylon are still a good brush. So that's the nice round painting brushes.
Someone asked, what size do you use to do eyes?
So what size do I use to use eyes? We have in our beginners set. So the question was, what size do you use for eyes? In our beginners set, which is just a budget-friendly beginner set, we have our Royal Majestic 4595. It's a 5.0 liner, and it gets a nice little point on it. It's a nice brush. It's just a nice, good beginner's brush. My favorite brush, which I had to take home, is my Silver Falcon. It's a 5.0 script liner, and we went through that last week. If you go to look at that video, so a regular liner has short hairs, maybe half an inch. A script liner is going to have maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch long hairs, and I like those longer script liners for doing eyes. And a lot of people are afraid of the script liners, but after you use them a few times, you'll get to love it and use them too. It's just a matter of getting used to using them. Okay. So Courtney added the link in the feed to the eye video. So now this is a nice little liner too. We got this from our artist paintbrush. It's the 585 liner, and it's got just a little bit longer of a hairs on it. It's not a script liner, but it is a liner. And when you have those longer hairs, you can load up a lot of paint up in those hairs, and you can go further. And then you also get a really nice point when you have the script liner versus just the regular little liners. So we have these, right? The 58550, the APB 58550 liner, and then there's the short detail liner. That would be another good brush. Maybe I'll have to have you make a like Brenda's better brush set with these guys, and then you guys won't have to figure out which ones to get. But I like a 5.0 liner usually for the eyes, so hopefully that helps. So like her little eyes, I used a 5.0 liner on her eyes. So Courtney brought me the other 2 liners, so we can go back over that long as we got them. So this, I have back in my hand the 5.0 liner, and actually all 3 of these are 5.0 liners. The difference is the length of the hair in the liner itself. So this is my, is this the script one or not?
The script one is the long one.
This one?
Yep.
So this one is the script liner. It's the 58550. So but it's hard to see because it's too white. No.
But keep them closer to the table. Okay. When you bring them up to the camera, it's blurry.
So I'm trying to, but I don't think they can see the length of the hairs. There we go. That might be a little better. Okay. So trying to get so you guys can see the length of the hairs. So the script liner is on my left, and its hairs are twice as long as the next, which would be the regular 50, excuse me, 50 liner. So I'll start over. They're all APB, Artist Paintbrush liners. They're all 50 liners. The difference is the length of the hairs. So this one in my left hand is a script liner, and those hairs from here to here are twice as long as your regular liner, which is the one I have in my right hand now. With the script liner, you can get more paint up in those liners, and you can get a really nice point on it. So that's why I like the script liner. A lot of people don't like script liners because of those long hairs. So if you don't, then your next choice is probably the regular 50 liner, which is the 595. It has the same amount of hairs in it, I would say, but they're half as long as that script liner. So that's the 59550. That's just a nice, good liner for eyes and eyelashes, little fine details. You'll find yourself that you'll have to put paint in it more often because you don't have those long hairs to load up with the hair. But this is a great regular 50 liner. Then we have the 250. It's the 250 50 liner. Its hairs are the same length as the regular liner, but this is the detail liner. So there's half the amount of hairs, I would say, in it as what's in the liner. And it's really hard to probably see that on camera. So they're both 50 liners, but this is a detail liner, so there's less hairs in it. So this would be really good for really fine eyelashes and eyes as well. This would make a perfect liner set for you. Would be the 585 50 script liner. Then we have the 595 50 liner, and then we have the 250, which that one gets really confusing, so I'm just saying the 250 50, which is a detail liner. It's like a mini liner with less hairs in it. So that's a nice set of liners, and we'll get those as a set on the web page too, but we probably only have enough for like 8 sets of those. So, but we'll get more. So that's the difference with the liners. I prefer the script liner, the longer liner, because it has more hairs and it can hold more paint. So that's my preference. So, any more questions before we move on? Nope, she's shaking her head no. Okay. So let's see. We got our turquoise. We got our blue. All my paper, you know. So I guess before we go, we're going to do one quick thing. I'm going to bring the eggs over because look at the eggs. They have crackled away as we've been talking. So I don't want to touch them yet because they're still wet, but you can see they've crackled away. So that's that one. And now here we have this one. And now they'll continue to crackle as we're talking here tonight and then overnight. But how cool is that, you guys? I love it. Cordy asked if we have to seal them. Yes, I seal them, but I would wait till tomorrow. Let the crackling and the glue get nice and dry. And then I like a satin sealer, so they're not completely flat. They have that little eggshell look to them. So they're just crackling away as we're working. So that's what I wanted them to do. So now we will go back to our little Easter bunny and we'll put our purple. Cordy says we got a question. And if the brushes are still confusing to you, send a message and I can go over them again. Maybe we'll have to do a video on just brushes like we did with the eyes at some point when I'm retired from work.
Oh, so you want to make the egg dots a different color?
Yes, the dots are a different color. So on the blue, so I dry brush the blue, the medium blue egg with the baby blue, and then I dry brush the white, the dots white on that one. On this one, we did the Limeburst and then the lemongrass. Then I came back and dry brushed my dots with the Limeburst again, and then I put a white dot in the center. But you can do anything you want with them. And everybody that's been posting kind of has done different little techniques, different little designs on their eggs, so that's great. So we're going to use our OS452 purple. OS452 purple. So, and I'm just going to use my same brush because I washed it out. And let's see, we're on our purple here, and I need to dust the front off of this guy because I got Bisque dust in there. So we'll just start with our purple here, a little more. I can see some. So I just use one of my dry brushes to brush the crevices to get any little dust out of them. You don't want that dust on your bisque while you're painting. That'll get in your paint. And we do usually brush them off before we ship them. So I'm just going to paint out my purple egg here. And brush it back and forth. Brush it out so it's nice and smooth. Keeping my piece anchored on the table, anchoring my painting hand on my piece. So I can draw nice straight lines. Let's see what else is going on. Well, I'm still pouring for our April box. I have about 10 more fairy houses to get poured, and then I got lots of cleaning to do and firing. And I'm also pouring the next month, which is our mushrooms and butterflies. And then I also dug out this week the rest of our molds from now till September, and I poured one set of each of those so I can get our samples painted so we can get our color list ahead. We did order our colors for April and May last week because we were worried about the supply chain with the virus stuff. So we do have everything we need for the boxes to be able to ship for April and May, including the tape, the bubble wrap, the paper, the labels, the boxes. We have everything for April and May, so we got that covered because Wisconsin is actually shut down except for essential businesses. So hopefully we get through this and we can get back to a normal schedule, kind of. And then I poured some fairy garden pieces, which, did we get to post those or not? No, because they're not cleaned. Or did you do a...
No, I guess I didn't. I didn't have them to post.
Yeah, I didn't. It was kind of a hectic week because Monday night, as you guys seen, the stupid hose clamp came off of the pouring table hose and sprayed is right, at least a gallon of slip all over the floor. And then I got that cleaned up, and you guys don't know this, but it did it again. And at that point I cleaned it up and it was 9 o'clock and I went to bed. That was enough for that day. Then Tuesday, what happened on Tuesday? Oh, Tuesday night I had to set up my computer for work. I brought my work computers home and I had to clean out the computer room and the desk in order to get those computers set up. So Tuesday night was a waste. I didn't get to work on anything. And I had got that all set up. I did have to call the help desk yesterday morning because some of the drives weren't loaded onto the computer that I had, so they had to do that, but that was pretty minor. They just come on and shadow you and they do it. And then last night I was able to pour. My brother-in-law stopped and looked at the hose, and we got that sucker all clamped down tight, so hopefully that don't spray off no more because that was a terrible mess. And Corey says, did I test it? Yes, I did. I poured last night. It went fine.
Did you put that pouring table back together?
Yeah, it's all back together. So the hose was plugged, and I took Jason took part of the table apart for me, and then I took the rest of it apart and unplugged the hose. And then when I put it back together, I didn't get it the way it wanted to be, I guess, because it wasn't tight, because my daughter knows I tighten stuff down. And so that wasn't the problem, that it wasn't tight, it just wasn't on there quite right. So I cleaned it up and poured the fairy houses, and when I got to the fourth one, the stupid hose came off and it was spraying everywhere, and then I had to get over the hose to get it unplugged. But it was easier to clean up the second time, I can tell you that much, because I used the dustpan and a squeegee, and I just scooped it in, squeegeed it into the dustpan. So if you ever do that, use a dustpan and a squeegee and just squeeze it into the dustpan and dump it in a 5-gallon pail. And it gets very slippery too, because it's on your shoes and on the floor. And that was it. I was done for the night. That was hard work. So last night I did pour, and I took things out this morning, and then I poured again before work, and then at lunchtime I actually took the other part out. So that was kind of nice to be home at lunch and just go downstairs and take the molds apart. So that was good. So I poured a couple more fairy garden type things. One is a fairy house type shoe, like a shoe, high top shoe that looks like a little fairy house, and it has a roof on it. And then one doesn't have a roof. So I'm thinking that one I can put glaze the inside, and then you could actually plant a plant inside it, and then like your plant would be the roof. So that's kind of cute. Then the little Easter bunny, which I think Courtney posted that. Let me see what other fairy garden. Oh, there's a wishing well for the fairy garden. That was really cute. A little wooden bench. A little gazebo. It's a little bit small for the fairies that we have, but it would still probably be okay in a fairy garden. So it was the two shoes, the bench, the wishing well, the little gazebo. I'm going to see if we have another purple one on here. Nope. So we got our purple done. I'm going to wash out my brush. Courtney asked what I base coated the marble one with purple. Good thing she's seen that. I didn't see it. So we're going to go back to our purple now that I got the brush all washed out. So we're going to paint up. Oh no, it must have been blue, Courtney. I don't know either. It could have changed colors too. Well, now I have that purple on there. Now what am I going to do? I don't want to waste it. Well, I guess we'll leave it on there, and we're going to scratch that purple. That was blue the way it looks. I probably changed colors. So we have our yellow. We're going to go to our yellow. So I have my lemon peel. Duncan Stain OS567. I got to make sure my brush is really washed out good with that light color. So I'm going to shake that up. Oh, and then the cactus, I had poured the cactus mold the day before, and I poured that on Sunday. I had to cut that out last night before it got too stiff. So Courtney said she posted a picture of the cactus with the hey y'all cut out in it. So that was fun to do, and it'll light up. It's pretty good size, but it's not real fat, so the shipping might not be the worst on it. Well, Courtney says it won't be the best either. So we'll have to fire it and then weigh it and measure it and see what size box it's going to fit in. But otherwise, if it's hopefully it isn't too bad, and we'll be able to sell that and ship it. Anything over a cubic foot though it's a big price jump. So I'm just painting out my yellow, budding it up to my other egg colors, trying to go nice and slow and careful so I don't have to touch up too much. You could have also color washed this whole piece and then dry brushed as well. That you could have done that too, but I didn't want to dry brush because we were going to be dry brushing the next piece quite a bit. So we're going to just do a little bit of dry brushing and a little bit of chalking.
Oh, yeah, this one earlier this week, someone messaged and I said you would verbally explain how to chalk a piece.
Okay, so Courtney said we had a question about how to chalk a piece. It was a message that we got, and she messaged back that we would explain it during the show tonight. So we have the chalk in the box. That was part of the extra for this box, which is a great deal. But we're only going to use a little bit of it to do some shading and then blushing on our rabbit and then on our sign a little bit, because I don't want anyone to get frustrated with it, because chalk can be kind of frustrating to do a whole piece at one time and then not have someone like in person to help you. So we're just going to break in a little bit at a time with it. But if you wanted to do a whole piece, you would base coat your piece either ivory or white, and then spray it with the matte sealer that has no shine to it, which used to be the porcelain sealer. And then you would use one of your bristle brushes, whatever size for your piece, if it's a little piece, a little brush, and you would pick an area and rub your brush on your chalk. And then I like to dab it on my paper towel first so I don't get too much paint chalk in one spot at once, so it's real harsh. And then brush back and forth and work your chalk in, and just keep going back and forth, getting chalk and putting it on your piece. And once it seems like the piece isn't taking any more chalk, where you're working on that one color, you would do a sealer, spray your sealer again, your matte sealer, just basically in that area that you're working on. And then go back to your chalk color and just keep building up that color until it gets to the color, the depth of color that you want. And then you would just keep sealing it, layering your chalk, sealing it, layering your chalk. And then you would go, once you get that, say you got this egg as yellow as you wanted it, you would seal it, because if you touch it, you're gonna, your color is gonna come up on your hands. Then you would go, say, to your purple and do a layer of purple, and then seal that area with your matte sealer, and then just keep going back and forth and adding sealer, chalk, sealer, chalk, sealer, until you get the degree of color and shading that you want. And then when you're done, you would seal your whole piece. So hopefully that helps explain that. And we'll work a little bit with the chalk as we go along. That's why we added it in the box. But we're just going to do a little bit on this piece, because it can be frustrating that the color doesn't get as powerful or as bright as you want it to get, as quick as you want. And that can be frustrating for people. So we're just going to do some shading with it and some blushing with the cheeks. And then next time we'll do another project. We'll work them in and until we work up to doing maybe the whole piece with the chalk. But I don't want to do one whole piece at one time right off the bat, especially not being in person to help. Okay, so we have our yellow. And I'm just making sure I can't see the white through it, and that it's butted up to each color. So here my blue is on my yellow just a little bit, so I'm just bringing the yellow down a little bit further. Huh?
810.
Courtney says it's 810. Okay. So I think what you guys can do is go ahead and, for homework, we'll do homework this week. Go ahead and finish painting out your eggs, whatever colors you want them to be. I put the Limeburst on this one, the Rich Peach on this one, and then the Miami Pink on this one. Huh? So Courtney wants me to show you both. Let me move this. So go ahead and paint out your eggs the colors that you want them. So this one is Limeburst, this one is Miami Pink, this one is Rich Peach. And that's, oh, we got a yellow one back here too, so I'll do that yellow one because I have paint on the thing yet. But go ahead and paint out your eggs for next week, and then we can start with our dry brushing and our little designs and dry brushing and highlighting. This egg here we'll marble. I'll show you how to do that. And if you want, you can paint out your hearts with, oh no, don't do that because we're going to dry brush this first, and we'll dry brush this one too. Basically just paint out your eggs for next week, and then we'll do our dry brushing and our shading with our chalk next week. And we'll also do one of the egg techniques. We'll sneak in, oh yeah, Courtney says the spattering, and we're going to do the spattering. That way we'll have that in time for the, if you wanted to add eggs to your order. So I'm just going to paint this guy out quick because I have yellow on the palette. And then Courtney has a bowl here with a bunch of names because she posted this week all of our paint that we got, because that's for our April and May boxes to make sure we, and restocking, that we have enough paint so we're not short with the boxes with the coronavirus going around and all that good stuff. So I'm going to just paint out our other yellow egg here because they have the paint on the palette. So she had you post what your favorite color is, I think it was. Favorite colors. And then I'm going to, I should let her draw the name this time instead of me. So we'll draw a name, and then you can message us with your address, and then Courtney will get a few bottles of paint out to you. And I think she said she was still waiting for our brush lady from last week. So Debbie Lovelace, if you're listening, can you send us a if we haven't, we can't, as a business, we can't initiate a message to you, but if you can send us a message with your mailing address, Courtney will get the paintbrushes in the mail for you and your friend from our drawing last week. Or if one of you guys know her, let her know to send us a message with her address for the paintbrushes she won last week, because we haven't heard from her yet. So I'm just going to brush this out, use up my paint.
Oh, Paula says she loves all the egg houses that she got. Didn't she find 2 more?
Oh, Paula, you love the egg houses. Actually, I poured 2 more. I don't remember what company they were. They're a different company, so they look different, but they're egg houses. They look more, they're not as Victorian looking. They're more traditional looking. I'll try to get those all cleaned and fired this weekend and get a picture to Courtney by Monday so she can get the fairy garden stuff posted along with those egg houses. I forgot about those. They're just your more traditional looking egg house, I guess you could say, compared to those Victorian looking ones. And we do have a couple sets of those yet. They just need to be cleaned and fired if anyone's interested in those yet, or any of the other bisques that we had, Easter stuff that we had introduced last month that could ship in your box. It could ship again this month. So I'm just going to use up my yellow here. And then we'll do our drawing and we'll look at our cracked eggs. I hope you guys give those a try because it's really simple. It's just the Elmer's glue all. Courtney will get the directions painted or posted on that resource tab where the birds are posted, so you guys can have those for free. But you basically base coat your eggs one color, let it dry overnight, brush on the Elmer's glue all glue, let it, by the time you're brushing on the second one, it'll be dry enough you can go back to the first one and then paint your color on. So here we go, we got our cute little eggies. So they're dry enough. I think I can hold them, yeah. So, I mean, they'll crackle a little bit more yet overnight. As you can see, this is the one that was done this morning. It's crackled a lot more. So it will crackle more. I just let them sit overnight. And then this is the green one. I just thought that was a good color, the green and the yellow. So, and it'll crackle a little more too, because you can see compared to the other one, it's crackled a lot more. But that's been like 12 hours already. So that's why I like to let them sit overnight. So go ahead and give those guys a try. But as you can see, they were pretty simple. We will be having these drying stations available to purchase. They are going to be $21.99 regular price. We'll do an introductory price of $19.99, and they'll be able to ship in the box. So if you want that, send us a message too, and we can we'll get the order in for those, so we can have those ready to ship for the box. But it'll be you'll get the pegs, and you can move it around. Something Jason showed me that I didn't really even think about. Yep, you'll actually get 8 pegs with it. Yep, and you can actually, he called it cradling. So if you take the pegs that are the same size, let's see how he did it. So you could actually lay your piece in there like that too.
That's cool.
So you don't even have to like put it on, you don't have to put it on here. You know, you don't have to, but this is really cool because like you could put it on your dowel like this and then go outside and seal it and bring it back in and just stake it in there and let it dry, and you don't have them fingerprints all over. But you could like stake it out like if you have different size pieces, and if you just wanted to like cradle in there, like that's probably too big. And they're a little snug because it's brand new, but it'll you can just cradle it on there like that. So it's just sitting on 3 of them. So they're adjustable, and they are small, so they do fit up inside things. Like I used it for the fairies, to seal my fairies. I put them on there and then sealed them and then stuck them in here and just let them dry. So that's it's my drying station. That's what I'm going to call it, Brenda's drying station. So you'll get 4 taller pegs and then the 4 shorter pegs. So that'll be $19.99, and the regular price will be $21.99. Yep, I'm sure we can. You could get extra pegs. Yeah, we can. There won't be much of a charge for that. But yep, you can put them close together. If you got little things, you can spread them out, 1 in each corner. If you got bigger things. So that's our Brenda's drying station, and I really like it. I've wanted something like this for years, and now I finally got someone to make it for me, and now we're going to offer it to you guys too. So you can just line them up like that and spray your little eggs and line them up on there. Let them dry and don't have to touch them. Put them to the side. There they go. So let's see. We have our drawing. So you got it all. So this drawing is for the post that had what colors do you like, with all of our colors that we got in. So I'm just going to stir these guys up, look the other way, and see who we got. We have Bonnie Rosley. Love them all. Use all the Duncan mostly. Oh, great. Well, congratulations, Bonnie. So Bonnie Rosley, give us a message with your address, and Courtney will get some. Courtney's got your address? All right. Never mind. You don't have to send the address. She's got it. You're a subscriber. She will be sending you some colors tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining us again tonight. We'll be here again next week. Next Thursday at 7 Central. Go ahead and base coat out your eggs, whatever colors you want. We will be dry brushing and then highlighting and doing some shadowing with our chalk. And we'll be doing the robin egg that's spattered with the colors. We'll do that quick too, because that's a quickie, and you can do that for Easter because Easter's sneaking in here on us. Yep. So we have the little jelly bean robin eggs. We have the chicken eggs, the duck eggs, the eggs that were in the boxes. There's quite a few different egg selections, and if you guys want eggs, just let us know. This was the red and white one that I did last week. So you could use it for other things too. Just a great little quick technique. So have a great week, you guys. Stay healthy, stay quarantined, and we'll catch you up with you next week. Watch for our posts during the week. You never know what we'll throw in there. Bye.